Hi, this is Mark Von Drasek, and I'm a physics teacher at Evanston Township High School, just north of Chicago. And this is video number 8 in our series on SEL in schools. We've been going through the 5 different competencies that fall under the traditional CASEL defined SEL, social emotional learning. And this is the final competency, number 5, responsible decision making. So of course, this is referring to the ability to make constructive choices about personal behavior, social interactions, based on ethical standards, safety concerns, social norms. This also includes the realistic evaluation of consequences of different actions that you take, and a consideration of the well-being of both yourself and others, based on what decisions you actually make and act on. So like the other competencies, there are some skills that fall under each of these larger competencies. And for responsible decision making, a lot of this revolves around problem solving. This is identifying problems, analyzing the situation, actually trying to come up with a solution to the problem, but then also evaluating and reflecting on the viability of your solution. And then asking the questions, is your solution good for people or bad for people? The ethics behind the decisions that you actually make. So for identifying problems, this is obviously something that needs to be determined up front. And you're just looking for things that need to be solved or fixed, regardless of what the situation or scenario is, or what subject you happen to be teaching. Now, of course, problems are just not an academic thing. All aspects of life, one deals with dozens and dozens of small and large problems every single day of your life, from personal, social, family, the workplace, in the classroom, extracurriculars for students out in the community, and so on. So some of the skills that we need students to actually begin to learn and practice, once you identify what the problem is, to develop a statement of the problem. Think about what are the root causes of the problems. Whether it's in a class or if you're out in the world, just in the course of life, you have many problems at the same time. And so how do you prioritize them? How do you determine what to work on first and what to put off until a future time? And then actually creating a plan to try and actually solve the problem and come up with a viable solution. Now, once you have done that and you know what the problem is, you have to start analyzing what the situation is. Okay, what are the root causes of the problem? For us in school, again, regardless of what you actually teach or what role you play within the building, are students able to do the following? Can they actually collect information relevant to the problem? And of course, nowadays, in an age of almost disinformation and misinformation, how do students identify the quality, the believability, okay, the reliability of the information that they're gathering? How do you organize the information? Some problems, you can be overwhelmed by how much material is out there, how much information and data you can actually collect to try to sift through and figure out what's going on with all of that information. And then when you have the information in front of you, how do you look for clues, trends, patterns, anything that might help you try to solve the actual problem at hand? These are all skills. It takes practice and practice and practice. We can't expect students in middle school or high school to become experts in this. It's a continuous lifelong development of gaining experience and learning techniques and methods within different disciplines to be able to do this. Then problem solving is the process that after the problem is identified, studied, and analyzed, the attempt to actually create a solution to the problem, to try to answer the problem. And of course, we can't get into specifics necessarily on this because it varies greatly depending on what discipline you're in and what you're doing. Every discipline has their own techniques and methods. And that's our jobs as educators to try to teach them about our particular subject area or discipline. But how are we doing that? Um, and then also, it's not just an academic type of problem solving, but in out in life, okay, personal, social problems that come up. Um, do students understand many problems require serious work and effort to solve, and that they shouldn't be looking for the easy way out? That in itself is a great life lesson that they start to learn about while they're in school. Now, when you have a possible solution in your hand and you're considering it, um, you have to evaluate it. You have to reflect on what it means if you were to follow up and actually decide to use that solution. Okay, consider the consequences of one's actions and decisions to follow a solution to a problem. Does your proposed solution and decision to act on it benefit yourself or not? What about others? Does it lead to positive or negative progress in your life or the lives of others? Does your decision solve the problem without creating new ones? And this is really an important one for life. Are there unintended consequences that will result? Many people are not so good in that particular aspect of decision making, like thinking about and taking the time to think about possible unintended consequences. And then finally, what are the ethics of your decision? Okay. What responsibility are we all willing to take for the decisions that we make? Now, the ethics are the moral principles that governs a person's behavior or conducting of an activity. How does your decision affect you and others? Is your decision in tune with social, community, societal, cultural norms, rules? Are you possibly breaking a law if you do something? Do you genuinely think your decision leads to good or bad consequences for you and or others? These are the questions that we want our kids to be asking and thinking about and considering at all times when they make more and more important and widespread decisions in their lives. Now, of course, this varies tremendously between disciplines. In STEM type fields, ethics and research, are you being honest with the research and what you're trying to publish? Are you thinking about how your discoveries and technologies are being used in the world? Does it help or hurt mankind? And things like language arts and history. Okay, if you're diving, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, a made-up story or a real situation, big or small, think about and talk with your students, discuss with them that the actors involved with it actually make ethical decisions. Okay, and the arts are different pieces, different creations of art of any form. Um, is there intent that could put somebody down or a group of people down? Is it a type of artistic piece that's trying to shock people, push the boundaries? Is it suitable for kids? Should there be age restrictions on who's exposed to the art pieces? And of course, in any type of athletics or other types of activities, are rules being followed, or are people cheating? Are they cheating in the classroom? Is good sportsmanship being shown? These all fall under the ethical responsibility skills of SEL. So obviously, every day we all make dozens, if not hundreds, of decisions at all levels and in all aspects of our lives. It's part of being human. It's part of life. Can we help our kids get better at this and make wiser decisions, decisions that will help people rather than hurt people? And just a suggestion, one of my personal favorite ways of getting at problem solving, and especially with the ethics of it and consequences of one's actions, I like using the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. If you are looking at the slide decks, the link is here, or you can just look it up online. The UN SDGs are a great way to look at the 17 defined human world problems that affect every person on the planet. We can, in any discipline, in any class, at any age level, we can get kids thinking about these problems that affect everyone's lives and have them use our material, our content, to try to come up with solutions to certain problems, whether it's at a local, state, national, or even global level. All of these are possibilities for us now. So this really is kind of wrapping up the 5 competencies of SEL. I hope these have been useful, and that there will be a couple more videos in this series. Um, but let's get to work and help our kids learn these and make good practice of these.